This is the Zeekr 009, a new Chinese electric MPV that Hong Kong superstar Aaron Kwok actually says is better than the Toyota Alphard.
根本跟 Alphard 是没得比，009是太舒服。
Now this year is now available for booking here in Malaysia at an estimated price of under 370,000 ringgit. So that is already lower than the Alphard and Vellfire here in Malaysia. But let's go and check out what else makes this better than the de facto boss car, aside from the fact that he was probably paid a lot of money to say just that. Now, first up is looks, because if you like a car that looks like a spaceship from another planet, well, this is the car for you. It's got a very unique front end with the daytime running lights here, reimagined to fit its more boxy silhouette. Now, because this is an EV, you also don't need a massive grille up front here for your air intake. So instead, they've used this space to give it some chrome detailing that gives it a very unique look that I think shouts both classy and bossy at the same time. Now, of course, this is still a boxy square MPV, so there's only so many ways that you can design a car like this. But Zeekr has certainly tried, especially with a wheel design like this. Now, these are 20 inches in size, but our Malaysian cars will come with 19 inches as standard. There's also this belt line that runs towards the tops on the C-pillar, this unique detailing on the C-pillar itself. But I think the most unique design element is definitely at the back here with this 3D full-width LED taillights that really just gives the 009 a very special and very imposing look, especially at night. And if you're talking about advantages over the Alphard, now this here is also quite a bit bigger than both of the Toyotas, so you'll definitely be getting a lot more space on the inside. Now inside here, the design of the Zeekr 009 is definitely a lot more grown up compared to the Zeekr X, which in other words, it is a little bit boring. But that is to be expected because the best seats in a car like this is at the back, which we'll go and check out in a little bit later. But even though there's nothing to shout about in terms of design, I think it actually feels very nice in front here, especially with these super soft seats that are wrapped in Napa leather. It's also very well equipped. You have a 50-watt wireless charger over here, and everything else is centered around this 15-inch touchscreen infotainment display over here with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. And your driving information is displayed on the 10.25-inch instrument cluster over here, as well as a augmented reality head-up display. Now, seated in front here, I have to say the view out front is actually very nice, especially thanks to this extra piece of glass over here. And on top of that, there's also a camera for each of your wheels, so there's no need to worry about your driver curbing your wheels. There's also a separate sunroof over here, which is separate to the massive panoramic glass roof at the back. Now, the Zeekr 009 will be available in two variants here in Malaysia, called the Luxury and the Ultra Luxury. But the main difference between them is actually just the seating configuration. The Luxury gets a 2+2+3 seating layout, but the Ultra Luxury here gets 2+2+2. And the seats here, well, they are both executive seats across both variants, but the Ultra Luxury here is just a little bit wider because there's no center aisle over here. Instead, you do get a folding tray table like your business class seats. Now, in terms of seat functionality, they are both actually the same. They both get electrical adjustments, they both get seat ventilation and massage functions. And these seats here, these are the actual boss seats because there's even an extra footrest that is electrically operated so that you can rest and relax in style. Now, because this is a luxury MPV, there are a lot of luxury touches inside here, with the most obvious one being this 17-inch OLED display up here that you even get a wireless remote control to control the screen up here. There's a lot of apps in there, including TikTok, and there's also a camera, so you can even take a video call inside over here. There's also a standard fridge down here in the center that can also double as a heater in case you want to heat up your milk for your little child. But the coolest part about this cabin is definitely right here on the door panel, because there is actually a touchscreen over here for you to control basically everything in the rear passenger quarters. And these here are actually touch activated, so you can open the windows with just a click of the knob button. And there's also a 30-speaker Yamaha sound system that comes as standard across both variants, that even comes with speakers in the headrest. So how do you get into the third row seats? Well, in the luxury variant, there's a center aisle over here for you to walk through, but on the ultra luxury, that's a one-touch button that the seats will just fold by itself, and you can just wait for it and then climb in as graceful as you can. And once you're back here, click on this button again and it should all come back to its normal position. I have to say, sitting at the back here, these seats are actually very soft and very comfortable, and I do get quite a decent amount of leg room, at least enough for a normal adult. There's a USB charging port over here and a slot to put your mobile phone, and you also get these sunshades over here as standard. And down here by the armrest, 2 buttons to activate the aircon over here, as well as a swing function. And if you really want to relax at the back here, you can even recline the seats over here so that you can lie back down. But if these seats are in their normal position, you still get quite a lot of cargo area at the back for all of your bags. As for powertrain, both variants get the same dual motor setup with 612 horsepower and 693 Nm on tap, which means for some reason, this luxury MPV can accelerate from a standstill to 100 km/h in just 4.5 seconds. At least that's the dual chamber air suspensions as standard to keep your passengers comfortable while you're doing that. The motors are juiced by a 116 kWh battery pack, which should translate to a range of 582 km on paper. And to charge, the 009 supports AC power at up to 11 kW and DC at up to 150, taking just 30 minutes to go from 10 to 80%. So is all that enough for the Zeekr 009 to take on the Alphard and Vellfire? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you need more info on the new Zeekrs that are currently on display here in Malaysia, head on over to AutoBuzz.my.